Well, welcome. My name's Keith with CoreLogic. Some of you know me from my monthly webinars. I do different topics every month, various topics on different things there. Um, and I also do in-person training class. Next Wednesday, a week from today, I will actually be there in person doing a Matrix 101 class for CE. And then we're going to do, I think Renee and I discussed, we're going to actually do an in-person MLS Touch training. And I think that we're also going to do a e-property watch training in the building there. I've done those over a webinar, but I've never done them in person there on site there. So just a shout out for next week in this training classes that I'll be in town. I come in town once a month and stuff there. So hopefully you can make it in and join me and ask questions and stuff. But thank you for being here. This is going to be kind of a short and sweet little presentation here. Matrix just got upgraded to a new version called 11.2. I think you're like on 11.1. And I'm going to show you what that version gives you here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to close this down here. Oop. Here's the big deal. When you logged in today, you should have been looking at this right here. And you logged in, you're like, well, what's changed? Nothing's changed. Well, here's the change. First and foremost, there's a little change text size, font size right here. That's a difference there. It's kind of a neat thing. So whatever your screen resolution is, if you go and click on it one time, see how it gets smaller and smaller there. You click it again and it gets smaller there. But if you click it 3 times, it goes back to your normal size again. So that's one of the little tweaks in the system. So let's say I'm in the middle of doing a search, let's say a residential search, and let's say I have the map tab open here. Let me open it up there. There we go. With the map there, if I go up here and I click change size, it's just going to kind of change the size here. Kind of backs it out, gives me more screen size. If you notice, look at the tabs up here. They got a lot smaller, and even that speed bar got smaller, but I got more of a map to look at. And same thing goes if I'm back here on the criteria tab, I just got more screen, or on the results tab here, the font size. But if I click it one more time, remember, like there's a cycle of 3 there. It kind of just keeps going back. There's the normal size. There's one smaller, 2 smaller, and then the third one goes back to normal size there. So that's one of the first things I want to show you is that you can change this little font sizer here. Okay, so kind of a neat little thing. We're actually going to have something later on, a future enhancement to where you're going to have like a little minimize thing, kind of open and close there. It's not here yet, but what it'll do, it'll actually kind of hide these tabs up there. It's kind of like doing an F11 on your keyboard. I don't know if you've ever done an F11. See right there. On a Mac, it's a little different. Different browsers, you're going to have different ways of doing an F11, but most browsers, Safari, Chrome, will have something like an F11 function there. This is very old school, okay? This is something that has been, see, it just kind of hides your tab, but we're going to have something built into Matrix coming soon here. Now, if I can just get it back off there. Okay. So the font sizer is the first thing I want to show you. It's kind of minor there. But the new dashboard, there's actually going to be a new dashboard for you. And that's where if you hover over your name, you can turn it on or turn it off. Right now, I'm in the classic mode, which is our normal mode there. And the reason why is if you've ever logged into Matrix on your cell phone, this is awfully ugly to use. Look how this works on a mobile device on a smaller screen. It's just really hard to see everything here. So I'm going to make this big again. So if you choose to, this is something you can turn on off as much as you like there as you get comfortable or not comfortable with this here. If you turn off classic mode, it's going to say you're switching to a new mode. You are switching to a modern experience, a variety of application upgrades. You can read that as well as I do. But the main thing is what it's going to do. It's going to turn the Matrix into a responsive design. And the whole reason for this is we want Matrix to be very mobile friendly, especially on a smaller device like such as a cell phone there. So if I click on go to new dashboard, it's going to just switch. And now that's my new dashboard there. Now watch what happens if I change my screen. See, now if I log in on a cell phone, look how nice and easy this is. I don't have to keep scrolling over. Right there on my cell phone, I can just kind of scroll down and see everything here. Okay. And if I make the screen bigger, watch how it responds to, now I got 2 columns there. Okay. If I make it bigger, becomes 3 columns and becomes 4. It just really responds according to the size of the screen out there. Here's something that's at least worth noting here is when you've got these widgets, or we used to call them widgets, I think they're starting to call them panels now. But the panels or widgets are these little boxes here. But if you look, some of them like the news and alerts, and by the way, news and alerts is always stuck up here at the top left. You cannot move that one there. That one's there. And I will say if there's no news and alerts, it disappears. It goes over. So everything would kind of just slide over. But one of the things Marisa and I were talking earlier is look at the different sizes here. You have recent one-home visitors. I only have 2. You might have 4 or 5 people in there, which would make that panel a little bigger. You might have no one in here, so that panel would be really small. So these sizes of panels kind of do change according to how much information you got to display in there. And that's what kind of throws things off a little bit when you're reorganizing it, because you can reorganize this here. But in the classic panel or dashboard, you can just grab this tab here and move it to where you want. Well, you can't do that in this new panel. When I first heard that, I actually didn't like that. I was like, no, I want to, but a lot of people use their mobile devices and especially iPads. Well, on an iPad, which is something I didn't really encounter much, it was too easy to accidentally hit the X and get rid of little widgets there and panels. There was a lot of times I would get a phone call from someone who had this widget here. Oh, I turned it off actually, called my listings. If you know what I'm talking about, there's a one called my listings there. I usually don't have it on because I don't have any listings, but some people would call me up and say, Keith, what happened to my listings widget? They're gone, and they were panicking there. Well, because the old dashboard, let me switch back to that classic mode there so you can see what I'm talking about. The old dashboard was just too easy to accidentally hit the X and get rid of these panels here. See how I'm getting rid of them there? And that's what caused it, because on tablet, it was very sensitive there. So we kind of locked them in this new version. So if I go over here and switch it out to the new dashboard here, now you can't. Now you can still kind of close them up and open them up if you want to. Okay, kind of see how I'm doing that there. You can do that there. And by the way, some of you may not have this concierge widget there, just because, just like the old portal, you don't have a concierge widget until you actually save an auto email and put it in that concierge mode. If you don't know what that is, come to one of my training classes and we'll talk about it there. Okay. That's a really cool feature. So I'm just doing that because some of you might be looking at your dashboard and you might see that I have a widget or a panel called concierge. And you might say, well, wait a second, I don't have concierge. How'd you get that? Well, come to class and I'll show you how to get that there. So that's the panels there. So you can still kind of hide them like this if you need to. Okay, open them up or not. It's just now, in order to get rid of or add any widgets, you go right here to this thing called a dashboard, edit dashboard. So you just kind of unlocks it in a sense. And here you can see all the ones that are turned on, and you can see all the ones that are not turned on. So you can see I don't have a My Listings widget turned on. Now, that's how easy it is to turn it on and turn it off there. As I do that, it is down here somewhere. Let me kind of move this around. See, there it is. There's My Listings right there. So it is there. But if I want to move it up, and this is where it kind of, I used the word wonky earlier with Marisa, because all these widgets or panels are in different sizes. So as I move this up and let go, now you can kind of see it over here where it goes to. So it doesn't really, it looks like it's right after My Stats, but if you look at it, it's kind of after eProperty Watch. But if I look over here, see, there's my stat. So it kind of, the order is kind of weird just because they're different sizes there. That's something I think Marisa would agree with me, and me. I agree too, that we need to have a better way of reorganizing these here, and we will find a way to improve this way of doing this here. So if I open this back up, if I grab my listings and I move it back up right after carts and I let go, now you can see it dropped right here. Okay, so you can see it real quick and easy where they go. But again, a lot of it depends on the size or how many one-home visitors you may have, or how many carts you have, or if you have the concierge widget. And here's another thing to think about. Right now, we have two news and alerts sections here. But what if there was no news and alerts for a certain day or time period? Well, guess what? That widget would be gone. So everything would kind of potentially rearrange there. So I want to mention that just so that you are aware. I hate for you to stumble on this like Marisa and I did earlier, and then start calling and stuff. That's something we already do know of, and we're looking at ways with Matrix to improve that there. But in the other sense, it fills up the screen kind of nice and neat though too. So that's kind of the dilemma we're in. It fills in a little better out there. To me, it looks pretty nice out there. And just remember, you can still do your font sizer here. And see, now that's my screen. Some of us have great eyesight, and this is the screen size you might want it to be in, or you can just keep it at the normal size there. Or you can go up to your browser and increase it this way too. Okay, that's your browser. That's not Matrix up here. See, now I'm changing my browser settings, but now I can kind of do a little bit of both there, kind of change Matrix and my browser. Okay, so this up here is just your browser. Okay, I'm using Chrome, Safari, Firefox, whatever browser you have. You're on your own doing that, but at least inside of Matrix here, you can kind of control the size there. So that's the dashboard. And like I said, the whole reason we did this is so that it's a responsive design. So you can see it's nice and neat out there. Okay. Me personally, I like this new dashboard. Yeah, it's I like to control the order that things are in, so I get that there too. But I really like it. I think it looks better and more prominent there. But there's one other little secret here I want to show you. Over here where it says dashboard, see that little arrow there? If you open this up, we have this new thing called a timeline. This is where you can kind of see who's been doing what, your clients out there. We've always had this, and we still will have this recent one-home visitors here. So I can see Tom Kress visited his one-home client portal yesterday. He did check 3 things off of his planner list, and he left me a notes. Over here, Ray and Patricia visited their portal yesterday, and they did 4 things off of their one-home planner. They've saved one listing as a favorite, and they left me a note there too. However, if I open this up, you're going to see it over here also. See those stuff. Now I'm actually seeing a lot more stuff. So with this said, I may not need that widget there anymore, just because if I want to see who's doing stuff on their portal, on their one home client portal there. Let's see what the question. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks, Karen. Yeah, I think so too, Karen. I think that's awesome also. Yeah. Now, I will also show, if you do open up the planner, I would get in the habit of using the refresh button there, because I might have been logged in for 5 minutes and there might have been something happened in the last 5 minutes. So if I click on this refresh, just make sure I'm up to date there. Okay. And now you can see here, updated their planner. I can just click on that little, see this little action item there. I forget what that's called. So you can see Tom and his wife, Liz, updated something on their planner. Okay. Some of this stuff you may not care. You may not care what they've updated. So see that little option right here called settings? You can customize your settings. Do you want to see every time someone visits their portal? That's something normally I wouldn't have on. Okay, actually I do. I'll show you where I've always shown this before, because if you remember, you've always had these options somewhere else. Okay, so I'm going to actually come back to it. I'm going to close this up here. You know where else you've always had this, and we've had it there for years. And if you never came to my training class, you may not have known this here, but we've always had it under your name and under settings. And it was always right here called portal notification settings. So if you go into this section right here, you're going to see we've always had these first three columns here. Email me or text me ASAP, but we also had a daily email summary here too. Okay. And this was always my recommendation. I wouldn't want an email or a text message whenever my client visited their portal, because that would be a lot of emails or a lot of text messages because it's ASAP. But once a day, it's okay. So I'd always do my ASAP on my notes or save searches, or if my client visited the portal the one time. But look at this new column over here, display on timeline. So this is one way I can turn things on or off right here. Okay. And if I do want text messages, right down here is where I'd have to click this link right here. And what I'm showing you right here is actually old stuff. Like I said, you've had this for a while. The only thing new here is this last column down here on the right. So if you do want a text message, want us to text you ASAP, then we need your cell phone number and your provider there. I'm just going to cancel there. And that's going to go back to my settings. But I'm going to go back to my home page now. Just clicking the logo. So now you've got the settings here, but this settings here only opens up the timeline settings. So the question is, do you want us to show you updates on the planner? Yes or no? If I turn that off and I hit save, notice that that option went away. Okay. I did still leave in visited the client portal, and I did leave in discarded property or adds a note there. You can still see that stuff. See, there's Ray and Patricia there. But if I go up here, well, what do I want to turn off? Okay, so maybe, did you know inside of Matrix, you can also text listings to clients? Again, that's something that you would need to come to class and learn, but you could actually text listings, not just email, but text them listings from Matrix as well there. But that's how you can see if they've opted in, if they gave you permission to text. So do you want that on or off? Okay, if they unsubscribe or not, do you want that on or off here? Okay, so you choose what you like. Just make sure you hit the refresh button to kind of keep it up. And then here's that notes. See right here, new note Tom added on this property on Pebble Lane. There's a message. If I click this little action item there, just makes it a little bigger. Okay, that's really about all it does there. Okay, just opens it up more. If I click on that property, it'll just take me right to that property. Notice it opened in a new tab there. So if I click on Brookwood, see, it just takes me to a new tab so I can see Brookwood there. Close it down, I'm still have my matrix there. So just something that's kind of open and close and show that there. So you can do this here. Things like your market watch, there's a refresh button there. Okay. This is a little bit different from, here, let me zoom out a little bit there. Yeah, let me make it a little smaller here, but make this bigger again. There we go. So like on the market watch, there's a refresh, you can close it, open it. And if you hit this little customize button there, it takes you into where you can do your market watch update, just like you've done before. This is exactly the same screen if you've ever tried to customize your market watch there. Let's hide that there. We've also have, like here on my listings, there's a refresh button, but if you go here, it just toggles. Which ones do you want to see? I like that little switcher. Okay, kind of switch it around. Here's what you're seeing, what you're able to see. But if you hit that customize button, do you really want to see your coming soon listings or not? Do you really want to see certain stuff? Okay, and some things you just don't have control over. That's more of an office level decision there. So you can just turn on and off what you want there. Okay. Quick search, you still have quick search here, just like you had on the home page there. Hot sheets, that's a switcher. See how this switches? Here's how you can go in and do a custom one. You know, how far back do you want to do a cross property or residential hot sheet? Same thing, you could have done it in the old dashboard and you still can. So it's just a little different look or feel to it. but you still hit that to customize your hot sheets, just like you've done any times before. I've had many training classes on that to show you how to set that up there. So it just might look a little different. What else there? There's my external links there. So it's a little change. It's different there. I do like it for the most part. Can it be enhanced or tweaked a little bit? Absolutely. Because I see how these things, as you move them around, they just don't go where you thought they went to out there. So I get that too. So now you can just turn off. One other thing here, like the eProperty Watch, I'm not sure if we fixed that yet because I know it was getting cut off down here. And maybe it's because I changed my screen resolution too. I don't know. I know when we first turned this on, the Matrix Learning Lab was getting cut off, and same thing with the Property Watch. Maybe we fixed that already. I think we had to turn it on before we could fix it there. So that looks like it's fitting in there really nice and neat. I know I noticed that earlier. It was cutting off the bottom parts of this here. So it looks like we might have had that tweaked a little bit there. But for the most part, I think that is all we've got. I really like this timeline here. You may not see it or recognize it, but it's on this new dashboard if you like it. But just remember, the news and alerts does go away. This widget goes away or disappears if there's no news. Whereas if I go back to my classic mode here, the news and alerts is always there, even if there's no news there. Okay, so if there um, yeah, so it just depends on how much news. Some MLSs, sometimes you'll have a ton of news items in there. Sometimes you'll only have one or two there. Okay, so it's your call. Change it as often as you want. It's your choice, whatever you like. I just thought I'd chat to you. I wanted to show you why we did this because we want Matrix to be very mobile friendly. We want you to log in on your cell phone. Yeah, you got MLS Touch, you got the app there, but sometimes you might need to see right there. You can see it when I make it this way. You can see my Learning Labs getting cut off a little bit there. eProperty Watch, I think, was down here too. It's doing better down there, but then again, I'm on a small phone there. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it. Questions? Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I like the new dashboard too. It still needs some tweaking. I will 100% agree to that there. But for the most part, I like it. It's up to you if you like it or not. Play with it, turn it on, turn it off. But I really like the open and close there too, the timeline there. Okay. All right. I think they're gonna this was recorded, so they're gonna post it on the YouTube channel, I think later on. So if someone else needs to watch it, or if you want to watch again, or you have trouble sleeping at night and I have a nice calm manner to put you to sleep, then I can help you sleep at night too. So has an email sent out as to when you will be in house. I'm not sure if the email went out. I will be there next Wednesday, Kathy. I will be in usually it's the last Wednesday of every month, unless there's like a holiday like Thanksgiving or Christmas there, things like that there. So I will be in town next Wednesday for a 101, and I think MLS Touch and a eProperty Watch class. So I'll be doing a class on eProperty Watch in person there. So, okay. Yeah, it'll be going out here shortly. Looks like we'll save search field refresh. So old one, unless you relogged in save search. So Blazer, are you talking about right here? That should.
I got to.
Did someone, I heard someone unmute and then muted again. Okay. This should refresh there. Actually, I don't think I've seen this. This is kind of a new look here. I didn't think. Huh. Yeah, that's kind of a new screen. I wonder if that's part of I don't think I remember that being part of the 1.2 upgrade there. Huh. Save searches there. You figured out, Liz? Okay, thanks. Okay. Sorted by certain name. So Blazor, yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by this, because if I go and create a save search, it should be there instantly there. Just let me hit save. Let me save search. Let me just call it test here. And hit save. Oop, save. And if I come right back to matrix, save searches, test, see, test is right there. I just saved it right in there. So yeah, I'm not sure what you mean there. Okay. Field refresh. And just if I didn't answer your question or understand it correctly, Renee can get you in touch with me. We can email or call or whatever, and we'll get that figured out there too. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for your time today. I told you it wouldn't be too long. So hope you like it and keep on playing with this here. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone.